And welcome back. With me right now is a Laguna Woods Village resident, Lisa Kursoff, and well, she's going to be showing a video that we're going to be having in July. I think we're going to show it 3 times, called The Caregiver Knows, The Fall Call. And it's a pleasure to have you here. Welcome.
Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, you are a resident.
Yes, I am a resident.
So, first of all, let's find out about you, and then we'll kind of get into what this is all about.
Okay, terrific. Well, I've been a resident for 10 years.
Okay.
My family's lived in the village for 50 years.
Wow.
Yeah, great aunts and uncles. I came out here about 10 years ago with my Aunt Alice from Chicago, still maintaining a residency in Chicago and going back and forth, so I live in 2 states. By trade, I have nothing to do with the medical profession. I work part-time in the accounting software business, but have been very involved with Parkinson's and things that relate to movement disorders, managing care in the home. Like a lot of advocates, which I consider myself to be at this point, we start out as caregivers because you don't know what the future has to hold.
That's right, yeah.
So in my family, that was 3 family members with Parkinson's in a row. So I have 20 years of experience of kind of knowing what that house looks like.
Yeah.
That's kind of the story there.
Right, and so really this stems from your desire to help people live a day-to-day life within their home, but really about what the caregiver does. And the caregiver, of course, is quite often a family member. Yes, it can be a hard caregiver as well.
Yeah, a big part of this is, of course, the tips and tricks that inevitably help the caregiver. That's, and if the caregiver's stronger, then the patient is stronger. If the caregiver's happy, the patient's happy. Nobody really plans to go out and accumulate a whole bunch of knowledge on stuff like this, okay? I'm thinking about when I first started, I just started documenting different things that would help our family. An example of that was baby monitors. I don't have children, so I didn't think baby monitors, yet I'm dealing with somebody who's falling a lot of times. So you still have to get a night's sleep.
Yeah,
You're not going to sleep right next to the person all the time. So baby monitors was a great solution. So many different things we came across. Many ideas that I came across from attending the Disabilities Expo. That's in Los Angeles once a year. And there's a plethora of products that you find that are by people who have MS or cerebral palsy, but they don't have really great marketing staffs.
Right.
So they have the greatest ideas, and then you go to these shows and then you bring these ideas home. You know, these ideas aren't always coming from physical therapy. Actually, oftentimes, and unfortunately, they're not knocking physical therapy. It's just we need a lot more solutions in the house.
Okay.
So it started with me just writing up a whole bunch of tips and tricks, and then it went into finding products for the home. My mother made a comment to me, and it was, I don't want to go to a nursing home, but don't make this place look like a prison. Okay. So that was a big challenge. So if you really look out there, there's stuff that will make your environment look great. There's grab bars that don't look like grab bars. Okay. So from that, everything was just kind of written. When I got to Laguna Woods Village, I ran into some people from the video club, and they said, you know, a lot of this material would make for good video. And video's easy, and video's not easy, okay? I can attest to that. There's a lot of work in video, but years later, here we are.
Well, speaking of video, we're going to roll in the background here. You know, you're going to talk over this, a short clip that you provided for us. And is this your aunt?
Yeah, it is.
This is your aunt. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And I know that Tai Chi. I know that guy.
That's actually that's Ed Tao, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be able to see this clip in full on Channel 6. And essentially what this clip was a result of was excess raw footage from a show called The Fall Call.
And that's the one we're going to be playing, I think, in July?
Yeah, that's like a 30-minute full show, and that has some history itself. But when you do a show like that, you obtain hours and hours of raw footage. This particular show was basically talking about what's behind the scenes of the ability to stay at home, because it is your choice. Assisted living is a nice word, but it means assistance. which means caregivers, CNAs,
Right.
90% of assisted living is of a non-medical nature.
Right.
So who's going to be that assistant, and where is that going to be? So assistance can happen right here in Laguna Woods Village, one of the best places for it to happen. So this is like a 4-minute little video that shows a woman going about the village, minding her own business, using all of our wonderful amenities that we have
Right.
here. But she's not doing it without help. She's doing it with 2 caregivers and an advocate.
Right.
And I mention that because I know Laguna Woods Village does make a point. We're not an assisted living facility.
Right.
We're not. But we are if you mind your, you do your own thing.
Now, of course, along with that too, and people have to decide this on their own, is the cost involved. Sometimes it can be considerably less to go to a place that has assisted living because you've got everything that's needed right there. A 24-hour caregiver, if it's a family member, of course, can
Right.
be quite hard. But having 24-hour caregiver that is somebody that's hired can be thousands and thousands of dollars a month.
Oh, sure. These are all individual decisions.
Right.
And the beauty of it is that, if you don't look at this stuff as negative energy, if you take it on and go, gee, someday I might really need assistance. Where are my kids? Oh, wow, they're living in Arizona.
Yeah.
The planning of it does help a bit.
Right.
The reason why this video is called You Can Stay at Home is there's quite a few board members, I shouldn't say board members, a few, but several other people in the community where we've had some conversations about, gee, what are you going to do? And somebody shared with me recently, all their friends are looking at expensive assisted living facilities and they're perfectly healthy, right?
Right.
But then they started thinking, wow, there's no assisted living facility that seems to beat what we've got going here if you have the right people in place.
Right. Yeah.
Okay? And maybe those people aren't necessarily your family members. It's not for me to say. I'm just here to say that there's a million different solutions. We've been across a lot of them, and it's just as creative as you get.
Right. Yeah, that's very true. I know that I didn't bring on, I'm just finishing up the guide for July, so I don't have the exact dates.
Sure.
I know we're playing it 3 times, but I forget what days they are. I should have brought that in, but the guide's going to be printed today or tomorrow. But I know you wanted to talk about one quick tip before we end the segment. You brought something?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's...
Because we've got just like about a minute left.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize so much time flew.
Yeah.
Well, every show I kind of like to wrap up and everything that we do with something that I kind of leave behind. This is just a quickie. I don't know if it'll be understood, but in terms of when people are sitting in a wheelchair a long time and they're vain and they have a lot of dignity, they still like to look really good. I'm not marketing anybody's clothing line, but one trick that I used is women are real fragile up front. Sometimes they don't grow and their legs are still skinny, and you keep buying bigger and bigger pants because there's a little bit of puff here. So I would go out and I would buy maternity clothes, and then I would cut the labels so my family didn't know.
All right.
Small trick.
There you go. All right, thank you very much. Good to have you on. And again, the dates on that will be coming out, and I seem to recall that it's going to be on Wednesdays, the first 3 Wednesdays of July, but I forgot to write that down, so I apologize. Lisa, thank you. Nice meeting you.
Thanks so much for having me on the show today.
All right, we'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot to write that down. I just finished.
Come on, y'all. It's just so wonderful to be home. Y'all get on up. Get on up and do the Wojo strut. Everybody. And justice for all. We're feeling no shame. Get on up and do the Wojo strut. Y'all shake your butt.
S is,
slow,
yeah, L is,
loud.
good, O is,
Yeah, shake your body like you want